A very good afternoon to all, and welcome back to Tally CA Connect. Wish you all a very happy CA day. People say that every economy runs on trust, and behind that trust are the professionals who upholds the integrity, accountability, and that confidence every day. So, thank you so much for all that you do and your trust in Tally as well. We are grateful to all the chartered accountants for being a very important part of our ecosystem. And again, thank you so much for joining in at today's session. And so, a few weeks back, we had discussed about the new Excel tool that we have come up to ease your work in preparing the financial statements for both the corporate and as well as the non-corporate entities. That is, as well as the for in the required format. And we are very happy to announce that the product is live on our website. And this session will take you through the entire process on how you can enable it from our website to how you can start the process and the mapping so that in this financial year now that very soon the July and August September we contribute to your work making easier and simpler. So for today's session we have a team of our internal experts. We have Mr. Vivek Kulkarni, Mr. Darshan Shah from the product team. So first, Darshan will take us through how the enablement can happen from the Tally Solutions website and what is the product philosophy. And then we'll have Vivek take you through the product demo. So thank you so much to our product team. Darshan, over to you.
Sure, great. I'll share my screen. Just confirm me whether my screen is visible.
Yes, we can see the PPT screen.
Great. Thanks. Thanks, Komal, for the introduction. And yes, happy CA Day to all the participants, all the chartered accountants. We'll walk through the Schedule 3 Division 1 today in the financial statements making from Tally. And what exactly we have designed or what exactly has been intended towards making this product is we'll share it with you. So basically, one of the major thing about a financial statements making is it is a time consuming job. Okay, and if there is any change, then there is a lot of things to be corrected on that. So here we are coming out with all the format related things. Here we have removed it. Okay, the solution will help you to generate the output in the format required by the department. Okay, we have also simplified as compared to our earlier solution. Okay, we had earlier last year, we had given financial statement for non-corporate entities. In that, it was involving two steps, but here we have simplified with direct export from Tally to the Excel file. Okay, so it's an Excel file template solution. Okay, wherein like you don't have to do multiple steps. In a single click, the data gets moved from Tally to the Excel template. Okay, and along with that, we have strictly followed the guidance notes provided by the ICAI, okay, the apex body for us for any financial statements or compliance requirements meet. Okay, so we have divided this into three steps. One is the direct export from Tally to the Excel template, which we will show to you. Along with that, there are few steps which we need to do in the Excel file, like mapping the ledgers with the heads provided by the department. We will also see to it that since there is a good requirement of segregating or bifurcating the values based upon current and non-current, that how simply we can do it in the solution that we will show to you. And along with that, additional information. So this processes will be there in the Excel file. And then finally, we take the output. Okay, either we can print it, we can have it in PDF, or there is one more options which will surprise you at the end of the session. Now, here we see that key why we have taken this Excel approach. Basically, we wanted that key all the Tally data which is there remains intact for the business operations. So all the business reporting can be done very well into Tally. Whereas for the compliance requirement, okay, the CS had suggested that currently they are using Excel files. Okay, they are the in-house made Excel templates. Okay, but they are not into that fully automated way, and it requires a lot of revamp. Okay, for if there is any change in the Tally data. So here we come with a unified area that in Excel template we have provided. Secondly, the format uh, is keeps on changing also, but along with that, there are a lot of specifications given by the department, so that we are following in this Excel template. Okay, and especially the names, the nomenclatures which differ, okay, that we have provided in Excel. Okay, and the flexibility and the formatting part of the Excel is much richer, okay, for any user. That means if he wants to have different fonts, or if he wants to have different colors for representing the financial statement of their clients, okay, that can also be adopted. So that's why one of the reason, okay, a few of the reasons for making it into Excel has been listed. So there are a lot of good features. I would not like to read out all for you on this part. Okay, in this slide, we would like to rather show you into the product. Okay, so we have simplified first the data export. Second, the mapping part. Okay, we have simplified it to a greater extent. Okay, you will see that key how quickly we can do the mapping. Okay, Vivek will show us and take us through that. Okay, and the notes. Okay, where all the notes which are to be prepared, we have given a thorough checklist onto all the types of notes which can be needed for either it is for a corporate entity or for a non-corporate entity. We have provided that. Fair. So this is our basic agenda for the product. Okay, that key what made us to do this. Okay, uh, as a solution for all the chartered accountants. Now, let us see that key. How do I get this, okay, enabled for my Tally license? Since it's a plugin, it's not within the product. It is an optional thing. Okay, like the user may choose to have this plugin or may not use the plugin. Okay, so that's why we have kept it as an add-on plugin. Now, how do we enable this? Okay, so simply we need to go to the Tally website. Okay, tallysolutions.com. We need to see this customer hub, and in that there are a lot of plugins over here. So view all plugins. When I click this all plugins, these are the list of all the plugins provided. Okay, I would wish that you explore as many as which are applicable to your way of working. And here we have this financial statements for you. Okay, so when you click on this, enable now. Okay, it takes you to this page, and here we need to provide the Tally serial number. Now, as soon as I provide the Tally serial number and say I want to enable this add-on, I just click this and it will send an OTP to my email address. Now here we are having that email since it's one-time OTP, so it's nothing wrong in showing you this OTP. Okay, so this is one-time use, and you just provide it into the portal once again back with the info in this place, and then it gets enabled. Now, when it gets enabled, it gives me a message that it has been successfully updated. Okay, you can directly now start using the solution. One small exception is there. One small exception is that people might have used the earlier solution, okay, FS for NCE, which we were calling it as. Okay, so now when we enable this solution, that solution will automatically get deactivated. Okay, so it will ask you for your permission for that. So I'll just show you what screen you will get. Okay, when you provide your Tally serial number, if there was earlier add-on, okay, enabled or the plugin enabled for your Tally serial number, it will give you this message. You are about to upgrade to an enhanced add-on that will replace the XML based NCE template. I'm talking about the old one, which we had started last year. Okay, with the Excel based template. The new template which we are providing in this, it will be replaced by it. So would you like to continue? And as soon as you continue from here, okay, it will give you the successful message. Okay, so this is just a small exception for those who had enabled it earlier. Those who have not, those who are doing it for the first time, it would be a small, smooth flow. Done. Okay, so we'll see that you can enable it right now itself if you want. Okay, and if you are facing any problem, we are there to assist you with our support team also. So that was there. This was the thing from my side. I'll pass on the mic to next speaker, Mr. Vivek Kulkarni, who will take us through the product. If any questions, you please write it in the chat. sorry, there is a QA session, I think. Okay, so in that you can mention your questions. We'll try to answer as many as possible in this during the session. Yeah, on to you, Vivek.
Happy CA Day once again for all the participants. So now I will take the next part, how to prepare the financials using Excel tool. So once enablement of your serial number is done in the Tally portal, you need to update your license once. So just for that, you need to go F1, help, go to settings, license, and in that select manage license, and it will give you this information. Press F4 and it will ask you to this thing. What it will ask you to enter your tally.net ID and password. And once you enter and say yes to upgradation, it will automatically update to the Excel financial support feature. So once you update your license, and once you update your license in your Tally folder, Tally installed folder, you will get one folder called App Resources. Inside this App Resources, there will be plugins, and here the financial statements Excels will be there, and one TCP will be there. Just this is a reconfirmation process whether this feature has been enabled or not. So now I will go to Tally. Yeah. So once you come back to Tally, so the process of preparation of financial statements in simple words has been classified into 3 steps. So one is like uh, complete your books of accounts in Tally, then export from Tally to Excel. What and all things will be exported? Your trial balance, stock summary, and your trade receivable and payable will be exported to Excel. That is first step. Second step is mapping of all the ledgers, stocks, items or stock ledgers, and debtors or creditors inside the Excel tool. And then once the mapping is done, you click on generate notes and give additional informations wherever required. So these are the, in brief, these are the 3 steps how you can create the financials. So now I will start with the feature export process. Once your books are finalized, this feature see this export feature will contain financial statements option only when you are inside the balance sheet, profit and loss account, and trial balance. So suppose if you are in gateway of Tally and if you click on export option, you will not get that feature. This has been designed keeping in view that few people might be having access to view the balance sheet, profit and loss account, and trial balance. Those people who doesn't have access cannot access this. So now I will go to balance sheet and click on export. See, here I'm getting the option called financial statements. Once I click on this, we'll get two options. One is for financial statements for NCE, non-corporate entities, and financial schedule 3 for division 1. So now I'm giving a demonstration of this schedule 3 for division 1. I will go with this. So you will get this sub form. I will go for configurations and I will explain few features here, how they are going to work. Okay. So data is exported for current year and previous year, and the current year end date will be automatically picked by the Tally, which you have already selected in the gateway of Tally. Next, if you have a previous year data into a separate file, or separate Tally data is maintained for the previous year, because of splitting of data, you can select that also. For that, you need to load that company into the Tally. Then you can select that. You can say yes here. It will ask you to select that company. It will go to if you have already loaded that company, it will show that company, previous year company. You can select that for the previous year. In my case, I'm selecting it as no, because since both the financial year data is inside one Tally. So automatically it will take the previous year end date also. Next is we have given some flexibility options here, like export ledgers with zero balance and no transactions in trial balance. If you want to make it yes, you can click, or otherwise it will be no. And export sundry debtors and sundry creditors, we are giving two options. One is party wise, one is bill wise. However convenient to you, you can use it. So right now I'm keeping it as party wise. Next, export stock details. Again, you want to see this as item wise or ledger wise. We have given these options. Next, export total value of stock items or ledgers. Suppose if you don't want to see the item breakup, you want to see only the consolidated value, you can make it as S. Next, exclude items or ledgers with a zero balance. This option also you can select S or no as per your convenience. Next, so the next thing is this folder path where you want to save the company's Excel in which data is pushed. For example, in my case, I'm asking this is my folder path and I want the new file, new Excel file to be generated in this folder. So what I will do, I will simply go and put this. I want my new Excel to be generated here. And now next is file name. This is the default file name. If you want, you can change this also. You can select and create, you can say, you can give your new name also. Next, open file after export. Yes, I have selected. I will say Control A, then I will say export. Once I click on export, data will start, the Tally will start pushing the data into the Excel file. Yes, you can see this screen. Yes. So now you can see earlier this folder was empty. Now the new Excel file along with the Tally data has been created here. So now this is my index sheet, okay, which has link to open all the relevant input nodes, output nodes, and user nodes. So it contains a README page where you can see how to use this file. Everything has been given, how to use this template, best practices, how to handle the situations in this file, and components of the table. So all the tables which are necessary for preparation of the financial statements has been given here along with the relevant explanation. And what are the buttons that tables include, and what are the along with the instructions how to use that. So now I will come back to index sheet. This, once I export the data, once I generate this folder, what and all things will be exported to this file. That information is, one is my trial balance of current year and previous year, stock summary of current year and previous year, debtors of current year and previous year, and creditors of current year and previous year. This much data will be exported into this Excel. Now I will come to basic info sheet. I will start with basic info sheet. So this is the first part, like exporting Tally data into the Excel. Next is I will go to my basic info sheet. You can see here the name of the company which is entered in the Tally has already been popped up here, and along with the current year end date and previous year end date. And the type of entity is corporate entity because I have selected it Schedule 3 Division 1. That is the reason corporate entity it is coming. Next is name of the, it will also take the mailing name. And just to inform you, sometimes mailing name will be different and company name will be different. This is the common practice done by the users. So mailing name will be printed on the all the financial statements, and it will take the address. It will also take the PAN number and corporate identity number if you have entered, and how you are exported. This sundry debtors and creditors, I have exported it as party wise, stock details item wise, and here we are giving the option to round off, like how you want to see the financials, right? Default with decimals, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, lakhs, 10 lakhs, millions, 10 millions, and crores. So any whichever is suitable to you, or whichever you want to the way how you want to show, you can select this round off figures. All the figures will get rounded off. Next is here there is one requirement just to select the fixed asset register. So as per the institute guidelines, financial statements has to be prepared using gross block method only, like gross block, accumulated depreciation, and the net block. But since there is a practice in the market, like people are not maintaining that data, we have given an option of net block, which is like how you are preparing the fixed asset register for non-corporate entities. That also I will show. So next part is who are the signatories of the company, name of the entity signatories. For example, I will say, see, wherever this yellow colored information is, yellow colored cells are there, these things are user input fields or user editable fields where user can input the data. I'm simply writing a few data here. Okay. For example, these are my three signatories. Let us assume that all of them are directors. Okay. I'm just giving some random number as DIN number, which will get printed on the financial statements below their name. Yeah. Next, signing date. Date of the signing of the financial statements. So I will say 30th July. Next place, Bengaluru. Along also that you need to give the details of the audit firms. So this is the name of the auditor who is going to sign the financials. And so all these informations has to be filled only once. Uh, it will get stored automatically. So next, this thing is about all the signatories of the company. Once you enter this, click on the update signatory details. Yeah. So once you click on this, it will this Excel tool will update all this information wherever this information needs to be printed, so that you need not have to enter it again and again. Next part is you have to give the information about the share capital details, like what are the type of shares you have and what is the face value. One time activity. Just I'm entering one example here. Okay. Once you enter this information, just click on update share capital. So what it will do in share capital note, approximately there are, apart from shareholders fund, like what is the paid up value of the shares, there are somewhere around 11 to 13 disclosures which needs to be done wherever applicable. So wherever this share names has to be populated, everywhere this system will populate these names, so that you need not have to enter it again and again. So this is the activity which I need to do in my basic information sheet, and this is going to be a one-time activity until otherwise there is a change in this. One time you do and click on update, it will get saved. Again, I will come back to my index sheet. So next process is mapping of all the ledgers. So I will go to trial balance current year. See here, what and all informations we are fetching from Tally. So from column A till my column I, all this information has been fetched from my Tally, which includes my TallyPrime group, nature of group, main group, parent group. This has been exported with some intention to give the mapping experience. The thing which we need to concentrate is on what is my ledger name and my opening balance, debit transactions, credit transactions, and my closing balance. So this is what is more relevant for us. And after that, we have given an option to make the provisional adjustments. For example, if client has given you the data without posting a depreciation entry. So what you can do, you can simply post that entry here, select, you can go to that depreciation ledger here where you have created under this ledger name. You can enter the depreciation under debit column, and if you want to credit the asset or if you want to credit the accumulated depreciation in the respective in front of that respective ledger, you can enter that amount here. So your final balance get updated automatically. So This is for provisional adjustments. Next, we are giving you one more option for bifurcation of balances into non-current and current. So the default understanding, what we have considered is all the balances, wherever this current and non-current classification is applicable, all the balances are considered as current balances, and the same balance will appear here. And what is the non-current portion of the amount that you can enter? For example, here what I'm doing out of this 12 lakh, my 12 lakh is my borrowings. Once again, before going to that, we have given this flexibility options where you can collapse these columns for easier mapping and easier navigation. See, this is my loan for building. Okay, so 12 lakh is my balance, out of which I'm classifying 10 lakh as non-current. So this current balance will get updated automatically. And once you map these ledgers, click on update notes. The current balance of the amount, current amount will go to my current notes. Non-current balance, whatever classified, will go to my non-current notes. For example, non-current borrowings and current borrowings. So this is the these two columns entirely given for classification of balances. So next, when you come to mapping side from column O to column Q, you can see here the classification has been given at 3 levels: C1, C2, and C3. C1 are classification 1 is nothing but your balance sheet and profit and loss account headers. This you cannot edit or you cannot create because these are standard in nature. Same thing will appear on your financial statements. C2s are subheadings, note headers, we can say. So, for example, if I select the share capital, what will come under share capital? It can be subscribed fully paid, subscribed but not fully paid, and calls in arrears. So these are three options which you get. So these are the subheaders. And C3. C3 is what? The user input field. Under, for example, I will go to borrowings. Let us say this is my secured borrowings. Okay. This I will classify it as, for example, I will classify it as bonds and debentures. So under borrowings, bonds and debentures will come. And if you want to disclose anything here, for example, 8% debentures, I want to create. Yeah. Okay. So 8% debentures I can create. So the thing which is not there in the predefined list, if you can directly enter it here and immediately pressing the enter, the system will ask you, this defined item is not in the list. You want to add this. You can click on yes, it will get added. So these are the hierarchies. How notes will get generated. Under borrowings, bonds and debentures will come. Below the bonds and debentures, in an indented format, 8% debentures will come, and this amount will get appear in front of those debentures in current note also, current borrowings also, and non-current borrowings also. So like this is the mechanism which we have built. And for every ledger, based on its nature, C1 and C2s are by default mapped wherever applicable. C1 is by default mapped, but C2s also mapped based on wherever applicable. Like wherever we can identify the mapping criteria, based on that, we are pre-mapping and giving it to you. However, you can, if you want to change it, you can change it. That freedom is already given. For example, this share capital is grouped under capital account. So for that is the reason we are bringing it C1, we are mapping it to share capital. However, you can change it to reserves and surplus, money received against share warrants, and share application money pending allotment. So this freedom is already given. And as and when you change this mapping, for example, instead of share capital, I'm mapping this to reserves and surplus. The moment you change, subsequent categories will also get changed. Under reserves and surplus, these are my default reserves, which Institute has given. You can select anyone among this, or if you want to create your own reserve, for example, investment fluctuation reserve. You can simply type and press enter. It will get added and it will ask you whether you want to save this. I will say yes, it will get added. And subsequently, it will ask you one more question. For the same ledger and for the same ledger group, do you want to copy the same mapping? So when you have 8 ledgers here, if you don't want to map them individually and all of them belongs to the same nature, you can simply click S here. It will map all the ledgers to the selected category. So here I will say no. See, this is classified as reserve and investment fluctuation reserve get generated in my drop down list. So now I'm changing it back to share capital. Yeah, subscribed and fully paid. Okay. So this thing is about mapping experience of trial balance, and one few features I will explain here. See, this is my trial balance current year. And you can directly navigate from here to TBPY. Yes, here also. And you can directly go to index and features of update mapping from trial balance previous year and trial balance current year is given. This feature I will explain you once I map few items. And once you map all these ledgers, you have to click on update input sheets. So how the figures will flow from trial balance, all that information will go to my input sheets wherever applicable, and from input sheet total will go to my respective notes and balance sheet phases, profit and loss account and balance sheet phases. So now I will start with few mapping experiences here. See, I have already given share capital information in my basic info sheet, like equity share class A and 8% preference shares. Now you can see here in my trial balance current year, all these capital accounts. See, I can say it as subscribed and fully paid, subscribed but not fully paid, and false in arrears under C2. And in my C3, all these drop downs will automatically update. Whatever I have defined in my basic info sheet, like it is capital equity share class A. Yeah. See, these are my preferences still here. So what I will do, I can select it as equity share preference. Yeah. So you can observe one more thing here. Until otherwise, I was mapping, the unmapped status was coming here. Once I complete my mapping, this unmapped will go. This is an indication to the user that you have, if this unmapped is appearing in respective against any ledger, it means that user has not mapped this ledger completely. Now this I will classify it as equity share class A. Okay, so I said yes to the option where it asked me whether do you want to copy this C3 mapping to the same ledger and same nature of group. I said yes, it automatically mapped to my next line item. Now I will go to reserves and surplus and simply say, let us say, this is my general reserve. Yeah, if general reserve is not there here, you can simply type. Yeah, and press enter. It will ask you, you want to add this to the list. Click on yes, it gets added. Yeah. Next is my security premium. Go to security premium. I'll select. Now you can see here, do you want to copy the same mapping for the ledgers and grouped under the security premium tally group? See, you can see here I have mapped to this line. I will say yes. In the next line where the ledger name and ledger groups are same, it will get mapped to that ledger also. I will just show a few more examples of mapping. This is for loan for building. Yeah, this is my secured borrowing. I will say, see here, loan for building is not there. I will simply write building loan. I'll say yes, it will get added. Next, this is my OD account, which is having my credit balance, which is predefined, mapped to loans repayable on demand from bank. This is which is there in my drop down list. Yeah. So borrowing secured. And when you see, the thing is, we request you all, once you download and start using this, try to explain these, explore these options which have been given, which are very carefully designed. Like if the particular ledger is grouped under any particular group under Tally, what are the options? What are the what are the possible options which user can map as per the schedule 3? which is already taken care of. You can try exploring this. If you have any queries, you can reach out to us. Yeah. So this is predefined math, and this is 8% bonds. You can again classify this as borrowings secured, borrowings unsecured, borrowings user input. So now I will, before proceeding with this borrowings, I'll just want to give some idea about the share capital note. See, what a few features I will explain. See, all these share capitals I have already mapped. And when I map all my ledgers of current year, I will go back to my trial balance previous year. And here I need not have to map it once again. I can simply click on update mapping from current year. I will simply click on this. It will ask me whether do you want to continue. Yes. See, in one click, all the ledgers which are already mapped in my current year will also get mapped in my previous year. Same things will appear. So now, after doing this, the process, I'll just click on update input sheets just to show you the share capital outline, how it is prepared. See, I will come back to my index sheet. You can see here, notes to financial statements we have given. These all are our headers, like balance sheet headers and profit and loss account headers. Everything has been given here. See, in my share capital, these are the disclosures which we need to give. I will simply go to authorized, issued, and subscribed paid up capital. I'll click on this link. It will open up my share capital input note. See here, what we have mapped under issued is already appearing here. This is the total of my share capital, which I have mapped in my trial balance for current year and previous year. And this face value I have defined in my basic info sheet, and it will automatically calculate my number of shares. The same information will get popped up under authorized share capital. Now, suppose if you want to say, see, my authorized share capital is more than this. That is the reason we have given this field as user, we have made this field as user editable. You can alter these figures and make the necessary changes. Yeah, by default, there is some formula to bring this value, but you can edit at any point of time. But in any other places where cells are not colored with this color, you cannot edit that. Now, my issued share capital has come, subscribed and fully paid shares, because this option I have already selected in my trial balance mapping, subscribed and fully paid. See, equity share class A and 8% preference shares, it is already appearing here along with the value. Suppose if I select subscribed but not fully paid in my trial balance, so that respective figures will come in my not fully paid columns, not rows. Along with that, if I selected any calls in arrears, it will come here. Now, this is my first disclosure. After that, I need to give the reconciliation of outstanding shares. What are my shares at the beginning of the year, issued during the year, and buyback during the year? So since there are no transactions in between in my trial balance, you can see here, we have not done any debit and credit transactions. If you already have these transactions, this table will take care of them also. And yeah. So, yes. Yes. Any reconciliation of shares, you can key in the figures here and that will get considered. So this is one disclosure. Next, after this, we have the disclosure of right of shares. So each class of shares, we have to give the rights, preferences, and restrictions of shares of classes which we have already defined. So for that, we have highlighted this, like we have given this share names in respective sheets. Here you can simply enter the rights, preferences, and restrictions, however you want to enter. This will get printed into your output node. The same way, 8% preference share is also there, and you can enter here. Now, next I will go to shareholders. You can see here, this is my equity share class A. You can enter the name of the people who are holding these shares. So for example, I will say Abhinash. You can see here, once I enter the in the last row, okay, the next row will get automatically opened up. So you can enter the all other informations. For example, next column is relationship with the company. Suppose if any other company is holding shares in your company, that company name you can enter and you can select here holding company, subsidiary of holding company, because we need to give the disclosure of this information also in the share capital note. And you can select whether he is a promoter, yes or no. You can say no, you can say yes. So once you click this, all this information will get automatically popped up in the respective notes. And you can write the number of shares held by them. So here also, people holding more than 5% of shares in the equity shares, no, that information will also get captured from here. Next, after entering this, right to shares I have already entered, and 5 years breakup you have to give. If any shares have been issued in the company without payment being received in cash, this is a disclosure requirement as per the ICAI guidelines. So that information also you can enter here. See, once you export the data for the current year, system will automatically take the previous year columns here, and you can enter the number of shares which are issued without payment being received in cash. What are the modes? Like payment fully paid pursuant to contracts without payment being received in cash, fully paid by way of bonus shares, and shares bought back. This information you can fill. Next, the aggregate will pop up automatically here based on the value entered there. But suppose if you want to change the values, you can change them. Next, securities convertible. If any securities the company is having, for example, debentures or bonds, which are in future, which are going to be converted into equity shares or preference share, that information you have to give. For that also, we have given the space here. Next, unpaid calls. If any unpaid calls, aggregate value of calls unpaid by the directors and officers, you can give the name of the, like you can select whether he's a director, managing director, officer, and what are the number of shares which are unpaid by them, and amount you can enter. Next, forfeited shares, we have given a place to enter the information. Next, shares reserved. Shares reserved is like this is my two types of classes of shares we have given, equity share class A and 8% preference shares. Here, if these shares have been reserved for any particular purpose, that information can be filled by the user. Next, after this user note we have given, here user can enter a consolidated management note, which which user wants is to be printed as a footnote below the share capital note. So these all are disclosure requirements of share capital. So all these things have been taken care. Share capital note is the which requires more disclosures. When you come to other notes, these many disclosures are not required. So one more example I will give. So once all the information is filled in this respective shares, you can click on generate share capital output. So this is the way, based on the information entered by the user, all the notes will get generated with all the relevant information. I will give one more example. I will show. This is about share capital. Now I will come to borrowings. See, wherever user needs to classify the amounts, apart from current and non-current, we have given the user input notes so that the user can classify the closing balance into multiple categories: current, non-current, secured, unsecured, like that. So I will take you to the borrowings note. First thing is we have to map from the trial balance. Yes, this is as bank body, 8% bonds. I'm selecting it as 8% bonds. This is my term loan from bank, term loan from Sundar other parties. This is my borrowings unsecured in bonds. See, this 8% bonds, what I'm doing, 8% debentures, I'm classifying it as 8% bonds. This is 12% debentures. Yes. Now, under C1, we have given one more option called, for example, borrowings secured, borrowings unsecured, and borrowings user input. So wherever more classification is required, we have given a feature called user input. I'll simply click on user input. Now you can see all the subsequent classifications will disappear. Okay, this will be a user input, but for this, I will select the C2 classification, term loan from other banks. Okay, so I have mapped my borrowings. I will go back to my TBPY and I will say update mapping from current year. I'll simply click on yes. It gets updated automatically. You can see all the C1 and C2, C3 classifications gets automatically updated. So now I will go back to my index sheet and I will go to my borrowings input note. I'll say populate data from trial balance. Now it is taking the data from trial balance relating to borrowings. Yes, see, it is updated now. See here, building loan which I have classified. Okay, so everything I have classified under non-current and current. This is the classification which I have done at my trial balance level. Now, loans repayable on demand from bank, default classification is secured and current, which I have mapped. Now you can see one item, 2 lakh rupees, loan from other parties, no, which I have classified as user input. So what it will do, user input, default, it will land this figure into current secured, but I want to classify this amount into multiple categories. I will say 30,000 here and 70,000 here and 20,000 here and 80,000 here. You can see here we have given one reconciliation difference with the TB column also here. If in any case, if you enter wrong figures, this will pop up. This will say the mapping is not correct. Yeah, instead of some like it is 70,000. Yeah. Now you can see it is reconciled. The same way in my previous year also, I will classify. Yes. So I have classified. And for all the borrowings, we need to give this additional information where we are giving the further information about against what assets or against what these borrowings have been secured. For example, secured by, I will say fixed asset. This is an example I'm giving. And terms of repayment, I will say 30 installments. Yes, date of redemption. When this loan is going to be repaid completely, I'll simply say 30th March 2030. Yeah. If you have done any default, that information has to be given. Now, when any particular ledger has been classified as bonds and debentures. So for bonds and debentures, further information needs to be given, like what is the rate of interest, details of redemption or conversion, redeemable installments, maturity conversion date, and details of redeemed bonds or debentures eligible for reissue, and details of reissued bonds and debentures. So all this information can be given by the user. So I will say once I enter this information, I will say generate borrowing output. This is also one option. See, once I click on this, it will show me how the output note will look like. Yeah. So this is my short-term borrowings. This is secured portion in that building loan, loans and repayable on demand from bank, bonds and debentures. Under bonds and debentures, I defined at C3 level 8% bonds. And here also you can see under unsecured bonds and debentures, 12% bonds I have debentures I have defined. It will come in this format. And also This is additional information for short-term borrowings. This closing balance will come here, and along with that, whatever the informations, whatever the security details we have entered will come here. And for bonds and debentures, this additional information will also get populated. Since I have not inputted any value here, this value is coming 0. Once you enter any values there, it will get printed here. So like this, all the input nodes have to be mapped. Like this input nodes have been given at multiple levels, like share capital, reserves and surplus, borrowings, investments, fixed assets, that is PPE, and loans and advances. These many places, along with like purchases, we have given this input nodes. So where you can classify according to user requirement and then generate nodes. So one more example I want to show the behavior. See, for fixed assets, what I will do, this is my fixed asset. See, it is an assumption that also the requirement is to present the fixed asset into the gross block, accumulated depreciation, and net block. If user has not done that, if you don't user don't want to show that, he can opt the net option also, which also that also we are supporting. So this is my furniture and fixtures. You can see here, if the balance is credit, it is assumed to be accumulated depreciation, and C1 of that ledger is already classified as PPE accumulated depreciation. Like this. Here the balance is debit, which is already taken care. It is classifying it as gross. So now what I will do under C2, I will say furnitures, which is already there in my drop down list. Yeah, you can select this also, or you can directly type. Yes. So there is one more ledger of fixed asset, which is goodwill, which I will classify it as intangible asset under intangible asset gross. Under this, we'll get the option called goodwill. Yes. And we also have this capital work in progress, which is, yeah. So you can see here why it is coming as other assets, because this ledger has not been created under fixed asset. That is the reason it is considering it as other asset. So this capital work in progress, I will classify it as, yes. We have the drop down options here. You can say capital work in progress. Capital work in progress. There is one more option called intangible asset under development. So again, this capital work in progress has to be classified into two sections. One is whether it is project in progress or projects temporarily suspended. Okay. So I have mapped all my fixed assets. Now I will go to my fixed asset input. And I will say populate data from trial balance. Yeah. See, this is my input node. Whatever the items I have classified, land, furniture, and fixtures, the opening balance of that respective ledgers will be considered here, for which are classified as gross assets, and all my debit transactions in that ledgers are considered as additions, credit transactions as deletions, and this is my closing gross block. This is my closing gross block. And the same way, wherever I have mapped the ledgers to accumulated depreciation, see furniture and fixtures, this is my accumulated depreciation opening balance. All the credit transactions are depreciation for the year and debit transactions are deductions for the year. And this is my closing accumulated depreciation. Along with that, it will give me the net block. Suppose if the user wants to, uh, if user doesn't have this data and if he want to show them only the net block method, he can do so by selecting the net block option in the basic information sheet. So then instead of this sheet, net block sheet will open. But as per the institute guidelines, this is the requirement, and we have designed as per the guidelines. So once it is done, you can click on generate PPE and intangible asset output. It will generate that. Yeah. See, this is my gross block and accumulated depreciation and net block. So this is the process of generating individual nodes. But instead of doing this, you can generate all nodes in one go also. Now so now index sheet, I will go to intangible assets, otherwise capital work in progress. See, here also some items we have classified as capital work in progress. I will click on populate data from trial balance. See, see, um, whatever the ledgers mapped to capital work in progress, see, has been classified into two categories like project in progress and project temporarily suspended, the same way which I have mapped. The closing balance will come. By default, all the closing balance will be reported under less than 1 year, but user can classify this according to this aging based on the user input data. So that is the reason this field has been made user editable. So suppose if you enter any wrong value, you will get a difference column here, which will show the bifurcation done by user is not correct. He has to fix this. So what I will do, I will simply say this. Yes. And here also you can generate this note and you can see. And at every note, we have given this user notes option where user can give the information relating to that particular note, which will get printed as a footnote for all the respective notes. Yes. Like this. Now I will go to PP input and I will say again generate PP and IA note. Yeah. Now you can see this is my fixed assets, PPE, and this is my capital work in progress along with the classification how we have done for this aging will appear here. This, since I have not done the bifurcation or not visited this sheet intangible asset, this is coming as blank. We can go there and we can edit that also. So like this, all the notes has to be updated, and once the mapping entire mapping of everything is done, you can simply go to basic info sheet and click on this index sheet and click on this generate all notes. So all the notes will get generated. Once the notes are generated, you can export them to PDF or you can export them to Excel. So this is all the about the quantitative data. But apart from this, we have given all the respective all the notes which a company needs to disclose wherever applicable. You can see here we have given an additional notes column. You can simply go and click this. This template acts as a standard where user can enter wherever the values wherever applicable, so that even if the user is not aware of any field to be reported under this, he can refer this and enter all the values. And once all the values are entered, he can generate notes. These notes will also get generated along with the financial figured notes. Yes. So apart from that, we have given the ratio analysis also here. You can see ratio analysis current year, ratio analysis previous year. This is my ratio analysis input node. See all the 11 ratios which need to be disclosed as per the guidelines have been listed here. And along with that, we have given the details of how the values have been considered. And we'll give the ratio of that item also. This is my input node. There are certain places where user has to input the values. Those places, those fields are made user editable, where user can enter the values. For example, if he want to add more line items here, he can add, or wherever there is a requirement of entering the market value of certain investments, user has to enter like this. And the output note of this will appear like this. Yeah. See. So this is my ratio analysis output note. Right? This visibility has been given. Now I will show you how does a report look like. See, this is already mapped and generated notes. I will show you the PDF format. How does my PDF format look like? The name of the company will come here and the balance sheet as at 31st March 26 and along with the scene number. And this is the output of the PDF generated. All the notes prepared. So first balance sheet will come along with the note numbers, everything. Suppose if you don't have any particular notes in between, that note will be skipped and renumbering will happen automatically. This is my balance sheet. Now you can see here all the names which I have entered for signatory details are coming here. Avinash director, Darshan director, and Sarla director, along with their date of signature, date and place of signature. Next is, this is the CA signatory details. Their company name will come here, name, a firm registration number, name of the signing partner, and their membership registration number entered at the basic info sheet, and along with you, we have given a space for UDIN, and place of signature and date of signature will also come. So like this, next is my profit and loss account. And after this, it will start from the share capital. So like this, all the informations will get printed into the PDF format. See, along with all the informations. In case of borrowings, we have entered building loan, loans repayable on demand from bank, all the informations, closing balance, and all the security details, what we have entered will come. So like this, all the notes will get generated along with the ratio analysis. So this is my PDF. Along with that, you can generate Excel also. Once you click on this generate Excel, yeah, generate Excel. It will generate an Excel without any links, so that user can edit according to his requirement and make the final version of the financial statements. So this is all about this generation of financial statements. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Now we are open for any questions and answers. Komal, we can take them.
Yeah, Vivek. I think questions and all, we have answered most of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Darshanji, anything needs to be added if you want to add
Fair.
anything?
This looks good. We can take up few questions which has come up in the Q&A
Yeah.
section.
Darshan, any questions you think that
Yes.
entire audience will benefit from? Maybe we can reiterate.
Yeah, we can take up those questions. Okay. So people have asked the link for the enablement of this add-on. So we have provided that in the chat and in the answers. Secondly, somebody has said while enabling this feature, he is not getting the OTP on his email. We request you kindly check this in your spam mails. Okay, maybe it would have got cornered because many such mails comes across for other things. So please request you to kindly check in your spam mails. Okay, if still the problem persists, please definitely get in touch with our toll-free number. Okay, they will assist you for the solution. Okay. Yeah, so that is a very interesting question. Uh, Vivek, is this solution the same for edit log tally prime and non-edit log tally prime?
Same. Yeah.
Same, right?
Both.
Okay, so it is immaterial of anything. Okay, because this feature will be enabled at the balance sheet level in the export area. Okay, and there we decide that whether it is for NC or the dependency is not there, whether it is edit log or non-edit log. Huh. This is one interesting thing. Mr. Vijay has asked that he is having split data. Okay, so how exactly we can do the uh, export of two companies or two financial years?
Yes.
Vivek, yes, on to
Yeah.
you.
Yes. When there is a split of data, um, you go to this financial statements under Schedule 3 Division 1. We have given an option here, previous year data in a separate company. So before generating these notes, please load both the companies into the tally and come to this screen and select it as S and name of the company, loaded company, which is already loaded for the previous year. Just click on this. In the list, it will show you the company which you have already loaded, company for the previous year. Select that and enter. It will take the previous year figures from that company and current year figures from the current company. And Darshanji, one more thing. I
Yes.
just wanted to give this information about the stock and debtors and creditors.
Yeah, please, configurations,
Yeah.
definitely. It's very interesting.
Yes. Okay. So all we saw is about trial balance mapping in our video. Now we are going to this stock summary. You can see here all our stock items have been mapped here to stock in trade. So now we have given these options. Suppose all the items are not relating to stock in trade. It may belong to any of these categories as per the guidelines given. So it can be classified as raw material, work in progress, finished goods, stock in trade, packing materials, and other materials. So you can see this raw material, packing material, and other materials will go to cost of materials consumed, and work in progress, finished goods, and packing material, stock in trade will go to changes in inventory. Uh, that classification already taken care. You can select this. And you can
Nice.
see once you classify this, you will get a breakup of all those values here. And all this closing balance will come under stock in like stock in position. But suppose if you want to enter any value as stock in transit, you can enter that value, which will get reported into your balance sheet in a bracket below the bracket, saying that stock in transit is this much, and that value will get automatically updated. See, for example, if I say 1 lakh as stock in transit, I'll simply enter my stock in possession will get automatically updated. This is with regards to stock. Same way, here
Yeah.
also you can go back to your previous year stock statement and stock summary and update mapping from current year you can give. All the line items will get automatically mapped. Next, I will show one more thing in my index sheet. I'll go to my debtors current year. See, we have debtors current year, previous year, creditors current year and previous year. See, since I have exported the value based on the ledger closing balance, right? So that is the reason we are not getting any aging here. Suppose if we export bill wise and all the receipt transactions and payment transactions are properly accounted, again, mentioning against reference, you will get this aging. So now here, what we have done, we have given the closing balance, and this aging has to be manually entered by the user according to his calculations. And once you enter here, all these values get updated in your, it will give you a breakup of whatever the value you have entered here. Now you can see there is one more table here given on the right side. So this table shows us the bifurcation done in this sheet. Now there is a chance that your creditors might be having some debit balance which is receivable. So that is the reason what we have given in all across all the sheets, debtors and creditors. You can see here under C1 we have given this classification. These 8 standard classifications we have given, where you can move the figures from debtors to creditors, creditors to debtors. So since this is my debtors current year sheet, what I will say, what this figure can be, this can be trade receivables, this can be non-current trade receivables, otherwise it can be a current assets, otherwise it can be a non-current assets. These are the classifications. Suppose if you want to move this from your debtors to creditors, for example, if this is my negative value under debtor sheet, so I want to move it to liability side. What are the options we are given? It can be a trade payable, it can be a non-current trade payable, otherwise it can be a current liability, otherwise it can be a non-current liability. So now if I select other current liabilities, we are getting these two options. Other payables, it can be other payables or advance from customers. Suppose if you want to move it to trade payables, you will get these options: MSME, others, disputed MSME, disputed others. This is the classification required. And again, if you select this non-current trade payable also, the same option you will get: MSME, others, disputed MSME, disputed others. So now you can see uh, trade, yeah. So non-current portion of trade payables will be grouped under other non-current liability, and non-current portion of trade receivable will be grouped under other non-current assets. So, and again, this trade receivables and trade payables will go to respective sheets. Trade receivable and trade payables will be forming part of current assets. So that is already taken care. So this is my debtor sheet. I can go to my creditor sheet. The same option you will get. Yes, these are my creditors, which are by default mapped to trade payables, and you can edit them. And for example, this is my negative value under my trade payables, which I want to map to any thing under asset side. I can do so. Yeah. So now under trade payables, yes. 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 So now there is further one more disclosure which we need to give for MSME. To enter that, you can simply go and click on user notes. Here there is a one more table has been given. These figures has to be filled by the user only. Like if any, the principal amount to be amount and interest due thereon remaining unpaid by the this disclosure. Yeah. So supplier as at the end of the year, principal, what is the amount due for principal, what is the interest due, and these 5 disclosures has been asked by the institute, which is already there. You can go to this user note field, click on that user note button, and this page will get opened up. Enter the values for current year and previous year. This is for non-current value, and this is my current value. Enter these figures and click on, it is automatically get saved. Go back to this creditor sheet and you can generate notes. Yes, Darshanji.
Yeah. So there is a frequent question on to how do we handle the gross block situation if the tally data contains net block date way of fixed asset representation. I'll take this up, Vivek.
Yeah.
So one small thing like if we are maintaining in tally in the net way, okay, then we have provided one option in the basic information. You can show the basic information, Vivek.
Yes.
Okay, the net block. Okay, so here the representation of the fixed assets would be different. Okay, but this is not recommended. This is not recommended. Many CAs had requested that key, you please provide us with the net block representation also, so that we have given it. But that's not a good practice, because as per the guidance note, we need to produce the data in the gross block format. So that is one point. Second point is that if we are having data uh, in Tally with net block way, okay, making it into gross block would be a suggestive area, okay, for future reference. Because right now, okay, having it the data different than the uploaded information would be a difficult task. So we suggest that you make the Tally data according to that. Third thing is, uh, whatever data means the net block Tally generate means this solution generates, okay, you can ignore that table from uh, the output sheet. Okay, means we have a solution over here. We will go on the top.
Yes.
We have an option to export into Excel format. So when we export into Excel format, it may get represented in a net or a gross block, which this solution is having. That can be replaced by another sheet, okay, what you have, okay, separately made for it. So currently that would be a cumbersome exercise, okay, for doing it. So we request you for going for two solutions. One is either change the data as per the gross block for any future requirement also. And second thing is that if you have opted to present the data in NCE, many people have suggested that we will be maintaining or showing the NCE in the net block format. So you can adopt that. So these are two things which we currently foresee, but we see to it that in future release we might come out with such type of conversion, but slightly it would be like additional data entry for any chartered accountant or the users. I hope this makes sense that how the data, because with the net block data, making a gross block statement or schedule would be slightly difficult. Shyam sir, I hope you got the answer for it.
So Darshan, the Excel import feature also doesn't work here, right? Or it
Mean
does? The
XML import.
because most of them I could see, as you mentioned, that gross value of fixed assets they maintain in Excel, so we
ah,
cannot make them use the Excel import feature.
no, from Excel to Excel means that I said now, when we export, when this
नहीं, import अपने tally पे अगर डाल दें and then we export it as a part of the
na na
financial
na no,
statements. Okay,
no,
noted.
no.
Yeah. So there are few open-ended questions. So now that Vivek is done with the part, maybe we can read out loud and finish it line by line.
Yes, we are
Yeah.
doing that. Yeah. So
Okay, that is answered. I think most of the questions are about gross. After making the balance sheet, if we change in tally, is mapping again to be done? Vivek?
Yeah. So, suppose if there is a change in the Tally data, once the mapping is done or generated in Tally, so you need not have to remap it again. Simply, you select this file. What I can do, I'll just show you. You can simply go to balance sheet and click on export and go to division 1. So, for example, this file is already there with me. Yes. See, this is already generated and mapped file. What you can do, simply copy this link and paste it here. Okay. So, you have selected that. Now you go to the file name, click on this. It will show you under this path, this file is already there. The file which you have already mapped and saved. Simply select this file and export the data. So what it will do, the mapping of done will remain intact and only figures will get replaced. No need to map it again.
Yeah, only one disclosure over there that if there are new ledgers added in the tally data, okay, those will be requiring mapping. Okay, because that mapping would not be stored in the Excel file. So that's why only those ledgers which are new in this Excel, okay, than the previous exported, we need to map it.
Yeah.
I'll take up next. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. It's okay. You can go through it then.
Yeah, I'll just go with the next question. Very interesting question has come up. Stock book is not maintained by company, maybe in Tally, and how it will be disclosed for opening and closing stock in balance sheet. So there is a very interesting thing in Tally, what we have. Okay, if we go to Tally, there is an option to uh, disintegrate inventory, okay, from picking up into the balance sheet and P&L. So, Vivek, if you can open Tally.
Yeah.
Yeah, escape. Yeah. So in the F11, we do have a feature, okay, called as integrate accounts with inventory, the last option. Oh, here.
This one.
Yes, this one. Yeah. So this we can make it know. With this, the stocks or any information in Tally in the stock summary will be ignored. That is the first thing. But now it has to meet with the balance sheet and P&L. So for that, we need to create a ledger of stock in Tally under stock in hand. Okay, that is an exclusive group. Okay, a predefined group in Tally while making ledger. Okay, and that is called as stock in hand. Okay, you can just give some name. Enter. Yeah. So here we are having an exclusive group called as stock in hand. It is having a special behavior. Okay, wherein like you directly provide the opening and closing balances of the stocks, means as on 1st April, as on 31st of March 2025, 2026. So like this, you maintain the data. Okay, as if like you are mentioning the closing stock below the trial balance. Okay, so this way it will pick, and with this option as no, okay, it will pick up the closing stock in the balance sheet, okay, from the ledger closing balance what we have provided. Okay, so now how do I export this? Now, how Tally while exporting will not export stock summary, okay, and export this specific ledger. Okay, so that we have provided in the configuration area. Okay, so when we go to the balance sheet, we go for export. It's a financial statement, configure. So here, if we see export stock details, whether it is item wise or whether it is ledger wise. So based upon this selection, okay, instead of stock summary, it will pick up the closing stock from the ledger created and the closing balances mentioned by you. Okay, so this flexibility, okay, has been provided in this export, which will help you for any stock related detailing. Hope this answers.
Are we going on with the next question?
Yeah, I'm just reading out those. Okay, I'll
Okay.
select some interesting questions.
Maybe we can read out and
Yeah,
complete
I'm just
whatever. Yeah.
because there are some income, means there is one question when it will get updated. So I'm not able
Yeah,
to
I
relate
think it's
that to
about
you.
the video of the CA Connect. We'll see that it gets updated in a day or two.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
fair. In case of split data, if the company has same name, then two separate tallies will be open. Then while, okay, I just small request for such type of data having the same name. request you to kindly prefix or suffix with the year. Okay, this will help us to open two companies with the same name but different year. Okay, in the same tally instead of two different tallies. So that would be my suggestion. Uh, Sir has asked, Mr. Singh has asked, subsequent to the exercise, once my balance sheet is ready, if there is any adjustments which I do in Tally, how to update the balance sheet to give the effect to the adjustments. Sir Vivek has explained you this in detail. I'll just reiterate what he has said. Okay. Once again, one after the completion of the data things from let's say okay, I've completed and tallied my balance sheet in my Excel, and now I feel that ki, there are some entries which I need to do it in uh, this tally and then repush the data. So that facility is also available. So that is one point. That is one way of addressing the situation. Okay, second situation is, let's say you have completed everything in Excel and now only there's some adjustment entries which I have done it in Tally, but now you do not want to re-export for some any other reason. Okay, then in Tally we have provided two columns for you for adjustment entry. Vivek, can we show that?
Yeah.
Yeah, in the trial balance, okay, on the top when we see, okay, before the final, we can click on this plus button which is there on the top, and it will open the provisional entries or the adjustment entries, what we call it as. Okay, and then whatever is the adjustment entries that can be passed over here. So this will get updated into the respective sheets, okay, with the update input sheet. And secondly, as Vivek had said earlier, you can repush the data also. So that facility is also available. I hope this answers Mr. Singh. Actually, company act bias element is that it should be reflected on the face of balance sheet. Samir ji, if you can be little specific about your question, actually, Company Act requirement is that it should be reflected on the face of balance sheet. Can you detail out what exactly you mean by that?
Actually, he's put in the chat also about the trade payable on the face of balance sheet, micro, small, and others to be reported. That's the company requirement he's talking about.
We'll definitely check into that. Okay. If required, we will definitely add into it.
No, trade tables we already.
Of mapping all the ledgers in Excel.
Yes.
Please
This.
provide us the option to create mapping in Tally itself, like we ledger head. Okay, that is an interesting question from Mr. Arjun Singh. Okay, that key, if we provide mapping in Tally itself, okay, that is what was one of our approach while making the solution. But what happened while doing the mapping part in Tally? Okay, second thing is that we also required bifurcation to be done in for the closing balances to segregate between current and non-current. Okay, and one more thing that there were so many additional notes, okay, additional subjective information which needs to get attached to the ledger closing balance. That key, with example, the loan. Okay, there is a loan of let's say 10 lakh rupees. Out of that, something is in current, non-current, and then once again we have to give more details about whether it is guaranteed by something, is there any defaulting into it, or if it is secured against what, and what is the terms of repayment. So all this information to get accommodated into it, okay, we felt that let's have one entire solution under one roof rather than having a partial solution in Tally and then partial solution in Excel. Okay, we went with a approach of doing entire thing into Excel without disturbing the operational area of the businessman. So that was our philosophy for making such solution. But sir, your requirement is, we don't deny it. Okay, we see to it that key how in future we might incorporate such things in our product itself. Okay, but it may take some time, a good time, I would say. Okay, and that's why this approach would really solve your problem to a greater extent.
Darshan, so we are at the closing time. So just two
Yeah.
more questions I'll read out loud. One is by CA Ganesh. If every time I export the financial statements from Tally due to alteration or changes, do I
Hmm.
need to do all the work again? And for all the other things as well, like debenture, share capital, bank.
Okay, interesting. So, sir, what will be taken care and what will be saved is the mapping area. Okay, if you have done any type of bifurcation, okay, it will get removed. The reason being that the values would have changed while re-exporting the things. That is one point. All the additional informations, okay, would also go away, as it would get attached to specific ledger or this balance. So that's why we will retain the mapping area. Okay, other things we might have to redo on that. So that would be the thing. We request for to follow a process, okay, which is written in the README, okay, which says that ki first complete the balance sheet with the figures, okay, and then do the additional information punching. So if such any such type of changes are there, so instead of redoing all the additional information, first complete the balance sheet with the values, okay, and then go for the additional information. So at during that time you can do n number of exports and do it.
Yeah. Next, if the previous year data is in the old version of Tally, do I have to migrate that data in 7.1?
Yes, this
Okay,
solution is available for 7.1
7.1. Yeah.
onwards. So request you all to come to the lasers, and believe me, 7.1 has lot of good technology. You can explore our ERA solutions, okay, which is an AI solution for punching the purchase bills. Okay, very interesting. And I wish that everybody come on to the uh, new technology what we have developed for you.
Yeah. And I think one last question was about the quarterly balance sheet. Can we do, if we want to create a quarterly balance sheet, can we do the mapping accordingly?
Right now, we have taken the approach of financial statement for the annual
India. Yeah.
reporting.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll see to it that we address this also in the upcoming release. But thanks for the suggestion, Sunilji.
Okay. Thank you so much, Darshan, Vivek. That was really insightful and I think very clear and smooth. I'm sure a lot of people have asked for the recording. We'll make sure that it gets uploaded in a day or so. And please do stay tuned at CA Connect for more sessions. Next week we'll be doing about the new features of 7.1, such as invoice templates, the IMS enhancements, the built-in HSN SSC list, and we will take Schedule 3 refresher course also, maybe next week in Hindi as well, because we have received a certain request on the same. So thank you so much, everyone, and for staying beyond the CA Connect time. I will now end the session. Thank you.